Hi everyone, let's talk about the last stage in cellular respiration, which is oxidative phosphorylation. Consists of electron transport chain. So we're going to talk about how the electron is moving from one complex to another complex. And the second part of oxidative phosphorylation is chemiosmosis. This is part 1, ETC, and this is part 2, chemiosmosis. So basically, we know from the previous stage, they are reducing agent, which are NADH plus H plus, or you also can use NADH. So both are okay. You can also use NADH plus H plus. So these NADH plus H plus coming from glycolysis. Step number 6 coming from pyruvate oxidation, and also coming from the Krebs cycle. So in total, we have 10 NADH plus H plus that going to be used in electron transport change. So another reducing agent is FADH2. So FADH2, again, it's coming from the Krebs cycle. It carry 2 electrons. So in total, we have 2 FADH2. So let's talk about how ETC happen. So ETC, the location is in the inner membrane of mitochondria. You can use inner membrane of mitochondria. So the space on top is the intermembrane space. You can combine, intermembrane is one word. And then the bottom part is matrix of mitochondria. So there are 2 spaces above and below the inner membrane. The structure that going to be used are, kita ada complex 1, complex 1, complex 2, a bit smaller, and then complex 3, and also complex 4. And then there are some electron carrier or mobile electron carrier. We have plastoquinone and plastocyanin, PQ and PC. So these are the components that going to be used in electron transport change. The first part in oxidative phosphorylation. So let's look what happened. So we know the NADH plus H plus has the electron. How many electron? You can look at this photo. There are 2 electrons. This blue color referring to the 2 electrons. So what's going to happen is NADH, we're going to talk about one NADH first. Even though we know there are in total 10 of them. So one NADH plus H plus will transfer the 2 electron to complex 1. So now it's going to be passed to complex 1. Next, the 2 electron will be passed to plastoquinone. Plastoquinone will take the electron, move from complex 1 to complex 3. Complex 1 and complex 3 cannot move. They are static. So, complex 1 need plastoquinone, PQ, to transport the electron from complex 1 to complex 3. So now the electron is passed to complex 3. Next, from complex 3 to complex 4, the electron need another mobile carrier, another mobile electron carrier, which is plastocyanin. Plastocyanin going to carry the electron from complex 3 to complex 4. So that's how the electron passing from 1 PQ, complex 3, PC until complex 4. Last but not least, the electron, the 2 electron will be received by oxygen. That's why oxygen is known as final electron acceptor. So before this, we already know that in the respiration equation, we need glucose plus oxygen. The product are water, ATP, and CO2. So the oxygen that we need is going to be used here. The oxygen going to wait at complex number 4 and act as a final electron acceptor. So oxygen, half oxygen, plus 2 hydrogen, plus, I'm going to write it here, plus 2 electron. The 2 electrons are passed from complex 4, and this going to produce water as the product. One of the product in electron transport chain. So that is basically the pathway for electron coming from NADH plus H plus or NADH. You can use both. So as the electron transfer from one complex to another complex, we know that electron is moving through complex 1, complex 3, complex 4. That's what happened. I'm going to use different color to make a different, to make it, you can see it clearly. So complex 1, complex 3, electron is moving, and complex 4. So this will release energy. Energy in complex 1, complex 3, and complex 4 release energy. Release energy to pump hydrogen ion from matrix to the intermembrane space. So, whenever you see the electron is moving at the complex can pump the hydrogen ion. So, we know complex 1 can pump hydrogen ion, complex 3 also can pump hydrogen ion, and complex 4 can pump hydrogen ion from matrix to intermembrane space. So, just make sure plastoquinone and plastocyanin cannot pump the hydrogen ion. They are just electron carrier. Their size is small. They're just passing the electron from one complex to another complex. They cannot pump the hydrogen ion. So we know that there are 3 locations where the hydrogen will be pumped. 1, 3, and 4. So that's how I remember. 1 NADH plus H plus will later on nanti, okay, in chemiosmosis, the formula is going to produce 3 ATP. How I remember it? Because 3 complexes can pump the hydrogen ion if electron coming from NADH. Ada 3 tempat dia pump, it's going to produce 3 ATP. So, that's what happened. So, hydrogen will be, there are a lot of hydrogen ion will accumulate, berkumpul. Accumulate sebab ada complexes pump. The hydrogen ion will accumulate in the intermembrane space. So we're going to stop there. We're going to continue it later on. Next, let's talk about the second reducing agent, which is FADH2. FADH2 also carry 2 electron and 2 hydrogen ion. But we're just going to focus on the electrons. So what happen is FADH2 will transfer the electron, 2 electron, to complex 2. So it's not going to use the complex one. Since the energy of FADH is a bit lower, dia punya tenaga rendah, so dia kena start dekat complex number 2, not complex 1. Not like NADH plus H plus. So the electron will be passed to complex 2 and then 2 plus 2 quinone. Moving on, pass to complex 3. Next, plus 2 cyanine. Next to complex 4. So these are the movement of electron coming from FADH2. So dia akan pergi complex 2, PQ, 3, PC and complex 4. Again, it's going to have the same reaction. The 2 electron again akan receive by the final electron acceptor, oxygen, half oxygen, and 2 hydrogen ion, again to form water juga. So sama, everything is just the same. Cuma the pathway is a bit different. Dia tak pass through complex 1. Everything is just the same. So, bila FADH dah pass the electron, it will be oxidized. Dia akan dioxidize to form FADH. Sebab dia dah hilang 2 electron and 2 hydrogen ion. And also, I forgot to mention, NADH juga akan oxidize. Sebab dia dah release, dia dah lose dia punya electron to form NAD+. So these two going to be used again in the Krebs cycle, glycolysis, pyruvate oxidation. So dia recycle je dalam sel. So NAD+ ni pergi balik dekat glycolysis. NAD+ pergi balik dekat Krebs cycle, pergi balik dalam pyruvate oxidation. Nanti bila dia ada elektron, it's going to come back again for electron transport chain. So again, since FADH2 electron dia bergerak di number 2, complex 2, complex 3, complex 4. Ada 3 complex dia lalu. But you have to remember, complex 2 is small. Size dia kecil je kat bawah ni. So it cannot pump the hydrogen. Dia tak boleh pump hydrogen because the size does not allow hydrogen to pass through. While complex 3 and 4, the size is full. So, of course, bila electron dari FADH2 pass through, lalu release energy to the complexes to pump the hydrogen ion. So, let's see, saya tunjuk bila electron dari FADH2 to pass through, dia akan pump hydrogen. So, satu hydrogen ion, satu tempat pump hydrogen ion. And the second one dekat complex 4. Satu lagi hydrogen ion. So, kita ada 2 tempat hydrogen ion. So, the formula is 1FADH2 will produce 2 ATP. So, that's how we remember the formula. Jadi, 1 NADH ada 3 tempat dia pump hydrogen. So, it's going to produce ATP, 3 ATP. 1 FADH will produce 2 ATP. Sebab ada 2 kompleks boleh pump hydrogen ions. So, back to our formula. Total NADH yang kita ada adalah 10. So,